it's not going to change for women in a Christian community who are in leadership if we're not talking about these things. So this podcast is speaking true, vulnerable experiences where women really tried their best to show up well, even when they failed. And how do we extend grace in failures and mistakes, knowing that to be a leader and to be a woman in leadership is one of the hardest things, especially in the Christian community. This podcast is for women who are pastors, CEOs, ministry leaders, founders, and women serving within the fivefold who carry vision publicly and wrestle privately. As you listen, you will gain courage to confront your own story without shame, wisdom to strengthen your leadership, and clarity to rebuild with discernment, boundaries, and grace. You will not just hear testimony, you will receive language for your process, tools for healthier leadership, and the confidence to lead again without losing your soul. This is the Sword and Grace Unscripted podcast. Welcome, everybody, to Sword and Grace Unscripted. I have Shashana Kaplan, and she is doing incredible things in her area. She's from Los Angeles. And so before we get started, I think one of my favorite things to do is always read people's bios just to see what women are doing. But I also want to say it doesn't capture everything that Shashana has experienced, has walked through, and everything that she is continuously doing. So this is really just a snapshot, and we're going to get into that together, which is really exciting. Shashana has spent 40 years as a union makeup artist in the film industry. But when her life took an unexpected turn when COVID hit, she saw an incredible need, and she saw local mom and pop charities were doing, and she realized they were the ones who needed help the most. She is the recipient of an Entrepreneur of the Year award, and she has always tried to innovate with integrity. And this is where her organization came. So it's PIFSTER, and it stands for Pay It Forward Charity, to prove that when we all chip in a little bit, which, my goodness, I love this concept, we make a massive impact. And her dream is to build a healthy community where everyone stands together to help their neighbors by uniting people through a $1 micro donation, which is profound. The Pay It Forward empowers mom and pop nonprofits, ensuring they have support and operational credibility they need to thrive. Welcome.
Thank you
I'm so
so
glad
much.
to have you.
I am honored to be here.
Oh, I know. My heart, Shashana, is in all that women are doing across the globe. Then when we can glorify the Lord, it's so incredibly empowering for people to keep standing, to keep doing. And I know that that's what you've been doing. So I wonder maybe what we can start, because I do want to give an opportunity for you to share all of the things that you're doing with PIFSTER and all of the Pay It Forward, all of the incredible things that you're doing.
Yes.
But what I want to share, so tell me, you were in the makeup industry for 40 years and then you left, and that was a result of COVID?
Well, it was a number of things. It was, so COVID was literally the first chance that I had time to sit down and look around me. A normal day in the film industry is you work 16 hours a day. I'm there at 4:30 in the morning, and you have to be there before the rest of everybody is there because you have to get the actors ready. So from 4:30 in the morning, you worked until about 9 o'clock at night. So my life, my identity was a makeup artist for the film industry. So COVID really stopped me in my tracks and made me look around. And I was heartbroken and appalled and frightened. And it was pretty traumatic for me. And I didn't realize, but four doors down, 3 doors down, there's a senior citizen home. Never knew it was there. Never saw it before, never paid it any mind. And these volunteers from our neighborhood were coming in and were walking the seniors around the neighborhood during COVID just to give them some companionship. And I was like, this is incredible. Who are these people and where do they come from? And I didn't just see it with seniors. I saw it with animals, because we have a lot of free roaming animals in my neighborhood, and people were still coming out 3 o'clock in the morning to save the kitten. And I realized that there are so many nonprofits, these neighborhoods, small nonprofits, are community warriors, is what I call them, and they're everywhere. And it just gave me so much hope, so much hope. It
Mm.
really pulled me out of my depression that I was in during COVID. And because of that, I didn't want to go back to the industry because it just felt so superficial in the end.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're looking around, like I know during COVID, it was hard for everybody.
Yes.
And you either secluded yourself and you were kind of hunkering down in your home and you're taking care of your family. But what I love that you shared is that there was a stage as everybody was struggling under that. But the fact that Shoshana, that you looked outside of your own home and you're seeing not just like what I love that you shared was you saw the seniors, you saw the animals, you saw non not for profits, and the fact that you called them community warriors. And that was where you landed. That's a I'm going to say a massive wake up call
Yeah.
in that
Well, it
moment.
was God's direction 100%. Because this
Yeah.
isn't in my normal realm of thinking. That's how I'm so positive it was God, because it's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a very secluded person. Being in the film industry, you stay very private. You don't tell people what you do because so this seed was planted and watered heavily during COVID, heavily, because I would wake up with ideas of like I remember saying to my husband, "Hey, you know that saying, if I had a dollar for everybody that cared, we wouldn't have these problems."
Oh,
So that's how the dollar thing
yes.
started. Because who wouldn't chip in a dollar to take a child from Oregon to Cincinnati Children's Hospital for heart surgery, which we did?
Oh.
I mean, who wouldn't chip in a dollar? And you see the lottery building so fast. I mean, and
Hmm.
I'm in Los Angeles, there's 10 million people, but we help people all across America. But if 1/10 of my city donated a dollar, that's $1 million a month. Do you know how many people you could feed for $1 million a month? How many animals
Oh
you
my.
could take care of? How many veterans you could take care of? How many seniors you can take care of? And everybody needs help right now. Everybody.
Oh.
But it's not
You
sad
know, it's
though. It's an opportunity to come together because it's an opportunity for the community to step in the gap and help each other. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's
no.
it's a calling. It's a calling for people.
It is. Well, and I just love your passion as you're describing that, some of the local things. And I don't think people realize how much something is simple. Like I know locally here, some of the grocery stores will collect, like, again, as you said, like a quarter or a dollar. And that seems really, really simple just to keep paying it forward. But when you think about the concept, if we all, as you said, if we all just contributed a dollar, how much more could we do? And Shauna, I was just watching a movie yesterday called Ordinary Angels. And it was a whole story about, oh my goodness, I was crying through all of it. And as I'm listening to you share, just families who have medical costs that, of course, we would show up in a child's life like that movie represented. It's a true story where they didn't have money to pay their medical costs. And here you are saying, let's pay it forward. We all have a dollar. We can pay it forward.
Yeah, we all want to help each other. We
We
all want
all
to come together.
do.
We just don't know how. And then I think we also are suspicious these days. Because you don't
Yeah,
know
that's
where your
fair.
money's going. Here
Yeah.
at PIFSTER, we make a video showing the impact of your dollar. Because
Oh,
yeah,
that's
because I think the
good.
story is important. I want to know where my money goes when I donate it. So you see Max at the hospital. You see him consulting with the doctors. His name is Max. Mighty Max is his name. We call him. He was 6 years old. He was born with bacterial disease, no esophagus. Within 5 minutes of his life, he was $1 million baby. So at 6 years old, they had to change out the esophagus because it didn't grow normally like a child would. And
Right.
he had shelves, so food was getting stuck, and they were calling them the stickies. But it would give him terrible pain. So he needed to get back to Cincinnati Hospital, and his family couldn't afford to go.
Oh my
They
goodness.
were so
Wow.
strapped down by all his medical bills. So Pifster came together
Yeah.
and all dollars, all dollar donations. I mean, it's really,
What I love though is it takes one person and you're the one person that saw a need and said, it's almost like not on my watch, right?
yes. Yeah, it has. I mean, it saved his
Yeah.
life. And you can learn more about him
Wow.
on Facebook. He's an incredible kid. He's 8 years old now. This kid takes his allowance and he buys top ramen and passes that out to the homeless. He is definitely God's angel. I am so yeah. He's an impressive child, a very impressive child. But we've done many things. We got mobile showers to go around to all the parks and to give people showers, and they got hygiene kits and little love notes saying, just stay strong. God loves you. You are special. You're the only one with your fingerprints. There's a plan for you.
That's so good.
Yeah. Every month we do something different because I care about more. I like seniors. I like veterans. I like animals. Everybody. We can help everybody if we come together. And this again,
Good.
God gives me the most brilliant ideas. And I lose them in translation of my passion sometimes. I'm like, oh, let's go do this. But it's I don't know how to run a business or a nonprofit, and a lot of these nonprofits don't know how to run their business either. We're just doing it because we have the heart.
That's right. Well, and that's what you grabbed a hold of God's heart for his children. Lord, I want what you want for your children. And so if I can steward this, give me the blueprint. So here you are as this mighty woman of God who says, Lord, I will be your hands and feet.
Yes,
And
use me,
I'm
use
just
me.
going right. Yes, just use you and you are. And it's so interesting too that you said, when not-for-profits are built, half the time they have no clue what they're doing. They just haven't they see a need, they want to fulfill it. And a lot of people don't realize is that you're learning as you go. You're learning how the law works. You're learning about how finances work, how to grow a business because you still have to wear that business hat. So, in all of that, what are some things that you went into as you were a leader? You're a Christian woman, you saw a need, but I'm sure it wasn't as easy as just saying, hey, here's a need. I'm sure you hit some barriers along the
Oh,
way.
we did. So PIFSTERs have been going for 3 years. In
Okay.
our second year, our developer, so it used to be a downloadable app, and our developer, who was also a believer and a lovely, beautiful man named Roy, got appendicitis. His appendix burst, and he passed away. And the company said, okay, well, here's your app. And we were like, what do we do? What do we do? And it was scary. And I knew not to quit. I knew not to quit. And I know that God always gives you a way, though I didn't see it. So my husband, who he's an editor in the film industry. He has some computer background. He kept the app going while we figured out what to do. And what we decided was to bring it back to a website instead of a downloadable app. Because as a downloadable app, you're very vulnerable to Apple, to Google. Anytime they change their directories, there would be a $2,500 hoop we'd have to jump through. And I don't want to spend donations on that,
Of course
you
not. It
know?
takes
And
it out of
and
other
so
people's needs.
so my husband sat down and God gave him some supernatural knowledge, and he built the app from the ground up on a website. So now it's on a website and it's better than ever. As God says, he takes bad things and makes them
Uh-huh.
good. And he really did.
Amen.
And it's, he really did, Tina. The website, we have total control over it. We don't have to pay anybody if we find a bug. Somebody can contact us right away if there's an issue. We can put custom things up because so every month there's 4 different charities that we support, and you vote which one you want them to get the monthly donation. So you decide who you want to have the money. So we put specific tangible problems, specific tangible needs up there because I want people to know what they're asking for money for
Mm,
because I think that's really important these days. So
absolutely.
on the downloadable app, you can only write in so much, but with the website, we can write in everything. And we have a custom vetter that goes in and we call them the digital detective. We'll go in and we'll search their finances for any corruption, any connections to the government. So that was a huge mountain for us to climb. And it did take some time. And we did go back and forth. And I did feel a little lost, but I knew not to quit. I didn't know
Yeah.
how we were going to have a way out, but I know he was going to give us one. And now pifster.org is running strong. It's going great. Yep. And then January, the fires happened in um, Palos Verdes, Malibu, and we lost about
Right?
$600 a month in donations. Yeah. Yeah, because
Oh
that were
my
a lot of my film
goodness.
buddies, a lot of the directors and producers that I worked with, they lost their
Yeah.
homes. And they were like, Shoshana, I'm going to hunker down. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
But God gave it once to me to build up. We'll do it again.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. I mean, that's a scary time, especially when you recognize you don't have control over what's happening in the economy. You don't have control over what happens in the planet anywhere.
Girl, that's a constant, that's my daily lesson is that I am not in control.
Oh, absolutely. And when we're relying on people
Yeah.
to be our allies, to create alignments with them, you can't build what you're building without the proper alignments, without people just sowing into your ministry. Okay, so what did you do when that happened? How did you recalibrate?
So we just kept going. We got the website up, and I talked to a lot of actors that I worked with, and a lot of them have moved out of Los Angeles, which is fine, and they are coming back now that they're getting on their feet, and we're building back up. We were at almost $1,000, and now we're still 3 years, and I still need to get the word out there that we're even here and what we're doing. So people are starting to come back, and we're up to $400. We went down to $126, and now we're back. Now we're up to $400. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
That is incredible. Well, and you're constantly being consistent with stewarding that.
trying.
Okay, so did anybody, just curious questions as I've thinking about it as, leader too, who's been building organizations, did you ever have anybody who came up against your idea? So tell me about that, because this is where women in leadership, when they have these incredible ideas, we like to tell all of the great things, right? Like we want to promote our organizations. We believe in them.
Yes.
But this is the thing that I want other women to hear from you. I feel your heart. I'm like, I just want to come to LA and just
Come on.
experience.
Come on,
Yeah, come
anytime. Anytime. Yeah,
and experience what
a lot. My family, surprisingly, just didn't see it, just couldn't see the picture and thought we were wasting our time and our money. And that was a little surprising from my family. But a lot of my coworkers from the film industry, they just didn't see the need. They thought, well, why can't I just donate directly? And I said, well, you can. You can donate directly, but you don't know where your money's going. And you won't get a video showing your dollar in impact. And you don't
Right.
know of all of the nonprofits that are all around you. But they still didn't believe in it. I could give someone $10 and it will make a difference. And I said, it will. It will. But here's another way. Give someone $10 and donate $1 a month. And they slowly came around because and I get it. As a makeup artist, you work on films for 6 weeks
Mhm.
and then you go on to another project. I'm not sure that they thought I would have the tenacity to follow through. And maybe on a normal
Oh,
day I wouldn't.
yeah.
But I knew this was God's idea, so I had to be obedient. I had to. Plus I love helping people. I mean, when
Yeah.
you can make a real difference, it's the best gift of all.
How has the Christian community wrapped around you? Have they been supportive?
Yes. I've had many people come and pray for me. I have many prayers on our Facebook page. People are always sending us love. And I think they also see the need and they also want to see what their money is doing.
Of course they
They
do.
want to see God in action. Everybody does these days.
People are looking for hope, and we want testimonies of God's goodness. And so when organizations such as yours are blessing other families and organizations, and of course we need to hear more about that and glorify God and all of that. And
Yes.
that's,
Amen.
yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, curiosity, you are a Christian woman who's the founder, the visionary of this incredible organization. Have you come up against your own obstacles as you've been leading? Especially, I know for different women, as I've spoke to them, being a Christian woman in leadership, it brings in its own obstacles at times. And a part of, just encouraging other women, but they're, if they're visionaries or founders, maybe they're CEOs, I want them to hear your story because you keep there is, Shoshana, I'm going to say you've got grit.
Oh, thank you.
You are.
It's the New York in me.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's such a great word because it's like no matter what's happening, you're saying, God, give me the strategy and I'm just going to keep plowing. I'm going to keep plowing. When I get hit with another obstacle, I'm going to keep plowing. But I know that is much. So yes, it takes grit. And you certainly got that. And it's incredible just to hear what is happening. But I also know that it doesn't come without hardship for you because life still
Yes.
happens. And this is what women need to hear is that there's still hardship even when you've got grit and you're doing incredible things for the kingdom. So is there anything that you can share that just says, hey, this is what I have been walking through. Yeah, I'm doing these great things, but there's some hard things as well.
Well, I think, I mean, the battlefield is in the mind, right? We're
Oh my
always
goodness.
battling our own thoughts, our own ideas, our reactions from our old wounds that have become strongholds. I mean, I think, I mean, specifically, I'm controlling I talk terrible to myself. I battle
Yeah.
that, and I don't think that I'm worthy. But those are childhood wounds that we work through that will heal. It's not a stronghold anymore, but that voice is still there sometimes. I mean, I can tell you that I spend a lot of time researching in the Bible, like worthiness. If you go right, look up worthiness in the Bible, there's lots of scripture. If you are feeling lonely, you go right into this Bible, there's lots of scripture. For every ailment that I may be battling today, there is scripture for it. So what would I tell women? You're normal. This battlefield that's in your mind is normal. But
Mm-hmm.
how you feel about yourself is how you're going to care for others. And you can't impart something that you don't have. So I work really hard trying to stay in alignment with God. And it's hard.
Oh. Yeah, that is so good. I love that you said that the battle, but it's what you also impart to others. So if you're not creating this alignment and you're not renewing your mind, because we're called to take all thoughts captive
Yes. Amen.
and to renew our
Yes.
mind. And so I love that you have recognized if I'm not doing that and then I'm stewarding and then I'm pouring out and then I'm being the hands and feet of Jesus, I need to center myself on him and his word first.
Yeah, a
And
very beautiful, wise woman told me. Her name was Diane. She was a pastor. She recently, a year ago, she passed, but she always kept saying to me, Shoshana, you can't impart what you don't have. And it was really profound.
oh, so profound.
It just made me realize, okay, I know what I need to do. I know, I get it. I get it.
I think sometimes there's this expectation that women who are in leadership and who are strong are not having this
Well, I
battlefield
know.
or, themselves or this like battle within their own minds. So I so appreciate that you speaking to that.
I laugh because I went to the Chamber of Commerce breakfast and I got up, we were announcing who had won the month for who got the most votes on PIFSTER. And someone said to me, "Oh, you always look so confident when you walk across the room." And it's so funny, Tina, because in my mind I was like, oh God, everyone's looking at me. Everyone's looking at me. Everybody's looking at me. And yet she saw it as confidence. And I thought, I have to just remember what God thinks about me. Not what I think. I just have to remember what God thinks about me. Because what I think about me is so not important. It's so in the way. It creates so many troubles for myself. And we talked about this when I left doing makeup. Friends I had for 40 years were like, oh, well, you're not in the industry anymore. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And my identity was a makeup artist, and it was really hard to let that go. And until I realized I am a child of God. That is my identity. That I am loved
So
and I am
good.
chosen and I am accepted and I am, it's just, and that sort of was the pivot for my growth. But I have to say it to myself daily.
Mhm. Well, because it feels like you're being measured too around what you're proving. It's almost like we can all get into this performance driven,
Absolutely.
here's my metrics, here are my numbers, here's how much money I've made, this is how much people I've serviced. And then you start to weigh your identity against those metrics. So I love, Shoshana, that you brought it back to nope, every day. Every day I've got to find my identity in him. And that is important for women to hear that. I mean, we're all battling that. We all have to keep going to the word to remind ourselves of that.
Yes. I mean, we're
So
human.
that's
That
so
is our struggle. I mean, that's the way it is. It's
Mhm.
not that there's something wrong with us. It's not that because we're women. It's not. It's just what we're human. That is what our flesh is made to do, is to take control and to, satisfy itself. But we have a heart and we have God living in our heart. So, we just have to learn to
Mhm.
trust him and to trust his word more than the words that we tell ourselves sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Has there been days as you've been building the organization that has been tough? What would you say has been the most difficult part of building?
So even when it's tough,
Yeah.
I mean, getting the word out there has been tough, but I love the process of it. I mean, I so believe in it, and it's helping people. And when you see the
Mhm.
fruit, I see the fruit of it every single month. We're changing somebody's life. Every single month, we're
Yeah.
helping somebody. So the fruit of this labor is right there for me to see. So is it tough? Yeah, it's tough to, get it out there on social media. I hate social media, but you've got to be on it.
Oh,
You know,
I know.
I hate it.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, I'm not I'm just not that type of person, but I need to be out there. People need to know that
Mhm.
it's me who's running PIFSTER. There's no salary here. This is a labor of passion and a direction of God, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing that you said is that when you are the visionary and the founder, what people don't realize as you're building an organization is, yeah, you're not taking a
Right.
salary. And if you are taking, it's a little bit enough to just to get by as you're beginning to build. And those are the things that founders do.
Yes.
They weather the storms because it comes back to, and I love that you said that, even though there's days that are hard, you see the
Yes.
fruit. And it's the fruit that keeps visionaries and founders to keep holding on, because if it wasn't for you holding on to why God called you to do this, some of the hard days, it could take you
Oh,
out.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's times when working social media, you're not seeing,
Nope.
you're not seeing instant results, and typical stupid problems, but that can knock you down. If you take it
Yes.
on, it can knock you down. But I try
Yeah.
not to, because I'm trying to look at the big picture. And my dream, and this dream of like taking care of these small mom and pop nonprofits. I mean, look, I would love to say that I'm collecting money to feed 100 people, but a small nonprofit is going to do it way better than I am, which is why we support these smaller nonprofits. I can't give people shower at the parks. I can't rent mobile showers and go out there, but yet this company did, and they had towels and little letters. And so that's why I just dream of supporting people that are out there, because it's two things. They either have a heart for seniors, animals, whatever it is, veterans, or they have suffered a
Mhm.
trauma of their own and vowed that nobody else would go through what they went through.
Right. Right.
And they're
And
just amazing. There are community warriors that are in our community, keeping our community together.
yeah. Well, Shoshana, you are also a community warrior.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and what I love is this like circle of care that's being created, that you have seen these mom and pop shops who need support, and you've come along and said, I'm not trying to duplicate, I'm not trying to do the same thing, but I want to help the ones that already exist
Yes.
by giving back to them so that they can keep being what they're called to do and they can keep being sustainable.
Yes.
And that in itself is so incredibly unique. Because most of the time, if I can just say, just in understanding my, not for profits, there is an element of an internal competition because everybody's competing for
Yes.
people for funds.
Absolutely.
We all need funds to keep stewarding what we're called. So it feels like this, even the not for profit world, is almost like you take on like a business corporate mentality as though you've got to compete for these funds. And we don't want to do that, just like your heart is not either to do that. You just want to keep building up sustainability for these organizations. So you are a community warrior too,
Thank you.
who's weathering all of the changes, especially going from one industry
Yeah.
to a new industry.
Yes.
That in itself is a transition. So, how long did it take you to shift your identity? That must have been a process as well to change that identity.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I aged in those 3 years. So I was a different person, but I'd say it was about so COVID hit in 2020. 2021 is when we started moving forward with the idea of PIFSTER, and then
Hmm.
2022 we really were on fire. That is when I realized that I was not going to go back into makeup. Was 2022. I'm not finding the magic here,
Mm.
and God told me I'm done. So was the change of identity quick? Kind of. Once I realized that that door was shut, yeah, yeah. But do I still have my makeup kit and all my special effects stuff? Yes. And
I'm sure you
do I
do.
still have fake tattoo parties for all the kids in my neighborhood? Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. Maybe the Lord's going to bring it back as a way to fundraise or do something that's really creative. Who knows?
I'm open to whatever he wants for me. His will, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that. Okay, so I want you to think about, like, as women are watching this, they're hearing about all the incredible things that you're doing and continuously do. If you could leave them with something encouraging,
Always.
but maybe they've been hit in many different ways, and they might be ready to just to give it all up. Can you speak to those
I
women?
can. I can. So a couple of things. Trust him. Just
Oh,
trust
yeah.
him because it may not you may not think that you're headed down the direction that you think you should be going, but you are. He's preparing you. He is giving you tools. God is preparing you to go down the road that you want that he wants you to be on. And I have a great example of this. Allison Levine, who is this amazing woman who went to Mount Everest. You know, when you climb Mount Everest, you have to climb up 2,000 feet and come back 1,000 feet and spend the night. Go up 2,000 feet and come back 1,000 feet and spend the night. And she said something that was really powerful, which was that even if you, when at night when they were coming back down the mountain, they weren't headed in the direction that they think they needed to go in. You know, they weren't going up to Mount Everest. She had to come back down, but she was still in preparation for going in the direction that God was taking her.
Oh, that's so good.
So just trust him. Trust him. His timing is not ours, and that's the hardest part. But just I know that like if Pipster went viral the first year, it would have failed because we wouldn't have known how to deal with the our developer passing away and the app not being bugless, we'll call it. So, the integrity wouldn't have been there had it gone viral right away.
No, and that's a good reminder for everybody building organizations. Like even that statement, if it went viral the first year, would it have failed? So I think we need to be thankful for slow
Yes.
starts. We learn a
Yes.
lot of things in that
God
process.
doesn't say no, he just says not yet.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. And there's good
Yeah, it's so
lessons in there.
true.
And yeah, I struggle with that. I mean, we all do. But you just keep reminding
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You just keep reminding yourself. I am
Yeah.
loved, I am
Yes.
chosen, I accepted, I am his child, and this is his plan.
And keep
And keep
going.
going.
Just keep
Don't
going.
quit.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
So, Shoshana, I want to leave everybody, all of our listeners, I want them to be able to connect with you. So, I will have all of the ways that they can reach out here. If you can share with people how they can help support PIFSTER and
One and
anything that will
only,
help
be
you.
kind to each other, especially us women, be kind to each other. Whether or not you support Pipster, just please be kind to each other because we all are affected by the person that smiles at us. Smile, open the
Oh,
door. Let's just be kind to each other. I know the world is crazy, but we know better. That's one.
Yes.
Two, go to
So we
pifster.org.
so we should do better.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. PIFSTER.org. So it's PIF, it's right there.
Yes, I love that.
PIFSTER. And PIFSTER.org, you can become a PIFSTER there. You can see all the videos of what the donations have done. You can see all the specific tangible needs that we're looking to fund now. And you can get involved that way. And you can always email me. My name is on the screen, I believe, Shashana, Shashana, at pifster.org. And you can always email me. You can schedule a meeting. You can suggest a nonprofit that you care about. You can suggest a cause that you care about. It could be a cause, a neighborhood school that needs equipment. It could be a family that needs help. It could be anything. Just put it in the suggestion box on the website. It gets vetted, and then it will be put up on the website.
Oh, that's great. Wow, Shoshana, thank you so
Oh, gosh.
much for joining me on Sword and Grace Unscripted. I absolutely love what you're doing. I think we need more people recognizing that there's a lot of organizations trying to do good things, and the fact that you're coming and you're wrapping around them, that is such a gift, and God is using you in such mighty ways. So
Amen.
thank you for sharing
Amen.
your
Well,
heart.
thank you for doing what you do because us women need to have
Oh,
examples before us to know that we can do it and that we're not alone.
mhm.
We are not alone.
No, and this is the whole point of why Sword and Grace got established, was so that we can champion each other, we can encourage, and we as Christian women can say, hey, this is no more about comparisons or competition. This is, I will be your cheerleader to keep encouraging you and empowering you to keep going. I love that you're here to, again, champion other women, because this is what you are doing as well in what you've built and continuously are growing and expanding. So thank you so much for being
My
here.
honor. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.